Let's go to Barnaby Joyce now. Barnaby, good to see you. You're in the chamber, I think, or at least trying to get in the chamber. There was a net zero debate there. You're obviously not in the Nationals party room meeting. What are you right now? Are you still just a free agent? Are you a cranky gnat? Have you got one foot somewhere else?
Well, Laura, what I'm doing is really focusing on the policy agenda. Net zero is devastating for regional people. It was very annoying sitting next to the Teals. It's almost like a sense of entitlement that they can inflict on regional people, basically putting poverty onto top of pensioners. We have small businesses that are becoming insolvent. We have families that are divided down the middle via their position on intermittent power precincts, swindle factories, with transmission lines going all over our area. Yet this is not an affliction that is worn by those who laud it and say it's a wonderful thing. That is, those in the urban capitals. They don't want them on North Head. They don't want the transmission lines over Mossman, but they do want them in the country because, you know, they're with the peasants, and the peasants should suffer those sort of sins because that's why God put them on this earth, to deal with all the junk that the enlightened want while small businesses go broke, pensioners go into poverty, our nation deindustrialises, and we have China breathing down our neck, as the Japanese Prime Minister would be telling us about right now.
Barnaby, but isn't this what is being discussed in the party room right now? I mean, David Littleproud has used that argument with me several times. You've got Ross Cadell, Matt Canavan, who say exactly this, and they're discussing this in the party room right now. Why don't you want to be a part of that?
I think, as Mr. Littleproud said, I think everybody knows my position. My position is adamantly against net zero, not an amelioration of net zero or a sort of a refinement of net zero or an amendment of net zero. I want to get rid of net zero, get rid of it completely.
I know you do, but you're not in government at the moment. You're not in government at the moment, and aren't they having this conversation how you can do what you want to do, but still kind of get into a party of government and still operate with the Liberals?
Well, I think that, does that mean we have to agree with net zero, does it?
No, it's not at all. But don't you have to offer something else? Is it just not zero and nothing else?
No, you don't. No, Laura, the point is, it's yes, no, not zero. It's no, not zero. You've hit the nail right on the head, Laura. It's no, not zero. That is exactly the position I've got, and it's exactly where I think our nation is best served. We used to have some of the cheapest power in the world. Now, with the more and more intermittent, they're not renewables. Don't fall into the nomenclature of the billionaires, farms, renewables, net zero. It's all rubbish. I mean, it's intermittent power for which the greatest beneficiary, of course, are the billionaires, that very small, highly affluent group who get secret capacity investment schemes underwritten by the taxpayer, so they get paid even if they don't produce an electron. And we think this is all okay while the pensioner takes it in the neck. It is outrageous. I know I don't need to be part of a discussion. In fact, it's probably better that I'm not there, and that is so that the room can have the confidence of what they say stays in the room. Because, you know, my position is known, and they know it, and they've known it for years. And, you know, I want to make sure that our nation moves away from this.
So if they come to a position where they're not backing net zero at all, will you rejoin the party room?
Come and talk to me then, Laura. I'd love to have the conversation with you, but that is not the position we're in now.
But it just seems you've thrown the baby out the bathwater here. They're moving towards that, and you're saying, no, I'm not going to be a part of that discussion. And still flirting with One Nation. Laura, I mean, you're talking to Pauline Hanson, it would seem, more than you're talking to David Littleproud at the moment.
Laura, as I've said, my position is adamantly against net zero. I don't want to be part of a discussion of an amelioration of net zero. My position is known. Is there any confusion, Laura, on my position?
No, but do you think the Nats are moving towards a path where they ameliorate it? Do you think that's what your colleagues, Matt Canavan and Ross Cadell, are trying to do right now? Well, it's pretty easy to say no, didn't you? You know, everyone tells you that. Your parents tell you that. Very easy just to say no. Come on, you've got to have some process. When you want to say no, I mean, are you saying there's no effect? Okay, so there's no effect to anyone if you dump net zero. All those farmers are going to be absolutely way better off. There are consequences to dumping net zero for the farmers that you speak about, and the pensioners too. Laura, there's consequences, and that is Australia will be in a much safer place. That is the consequence of getting out of net zero. It is absurd, absolutely absurd, Laura, to think you're going to run a nation on intermittent power, that you're going to run a nation on sort of temporary wind, temporary solar, when what you've seen is a direct correlation
Laura, between the increase in your power price, which went up by more than 25% last year, 40% increase in energy prices, and the more and more intermittents that have come onto the grid. And then we think there's going to be some sort of epiphany that all of a sudden physics is going to change for us, just for us in Australia. And at the same time, Laura, this has no effect on the weather. None. None. So, Laura, why are we doing this to ourselves? Let's look at the
electoral reality, though. OK, I get that. And you're very powerful, you're very good at messaging, and there's a lot of people that love you out there. But what about the political calculation here? Do you think young people in the cities are just going to have an epiphany?
Laura, so you're saying because you might feel awkward here, you've got an entitlement
I'm not saying
to make
that. I'm just saying, I'm putting to you the electoral reality.
Laura, well, I'm going to answer you first.
Millennials are now a bigger voting bloc. Yep, please.
Laura, I'm going to answer your first question, please.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think that it's right, because of the awkwardness in this building, that we say to a pensioner that, sorry, you just got to pay higher power prices, or just go off the grid and just live without electricity? Do you think it's right that we say to farmers, you just have to live with those transmission lines with the 250-metre corridors across your place? Do you think it's right that we say to people in other areas, we're just going to turn your area into an industrial sort of landscape and then leave the rubbish there later on when it becomes obsolete? Do you think it's right to say to Australians in general, we're just going to deindustrialise so that if we have a point of conflict, we're not actually able to defend ourselves? Because we did that because, it was going to be so damn awkward in that building if we didn't support it. And the millennials in Sydney, we had to do something about that, didn't we? And you say, but mate, you completely buggered your nation.
I'm just wondering how you can possibly win the next election and get this net zero, dead, buried and cremated.
OK, well, Laura, I'll answer that question.
Or you just shout from the sidelines from opposition. I mean, that's not going to do anything either for those pensioners and farmers that you talk about.
Laura, any time now. Laura, do you think we are a different species in Australia to the people in the United States of America, or China, or India, or Indonesia, or what looks like it's going to win the election in the UK?
Absolutely.
So all these other people, Laura, don't believe in net zero, but somehow, for some form of magic, we believe in it in Australia, even though it'll have no effect on the weather. We're just kind of different. That's rubbish, Laura. That's garbage.
Well, do you think that Farage and Trump politics work here, then? Is that what you're saying?
I think logic works here, Laura, unless we're illogical. I mean, Laura, you tell me the logic of going down net zero and has no effect on the weather. What is the logic of that, Laura?
Well, look, I'm not here to completely...
See, that silence is what's happening out. That silence is what's happening out there in the community. Nobody can get it.
Look, I don't completely subscribe what you're putting to me. What I'm putting to you is what I can't get my head around is how you can win the next... How you win the next election, actually do this from government.
Laura, see, what you're saying is you're talking about how we win the election. I'm talking about the hurt that's happening right now to families.
Yeah.
And I back ourselves in that if you argue your case about how this hurt, which is absolutely evident, and the outcome, which is absolutely impossible, is absolutely something you should go to an election and argue your case. I'm prepared to do that, and I hope others are as well.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what the Liberals end up with as well. So in the meantime, what are you? Are you still a Nat?
I'm Barnaby Joyce, and I'm very proud of it. And
Yes, you are.
Every time I look at my name tag, and Laura, I'm a parliamentarian that's had the incredible blessing of representing the people of New England. Okay. And I'll continue to do what is best for the people of New England, and I believe the people of Australia. That is my job, first and foremost, above everything else.
OK, but why wouldn't you be an independent then?
Because I just think that you've got to go with a block of votes in the end. And Laura, I'm not going to be cut and diced into where I'm going. You can have an interview with me down the track if I make that decision. I'm happy to talk to you then, Laura. It'll be an absolute pleasure, as it always is.
OK, you don't seem that happy to talk to me today, but I appreciate it, and I look forward. I will take you up on that offer, Barnaby. Thanks so much for making the time, as always.
Thank you very much, Laura.